YouTube and welcome to this episode of the Gunman Raw. So today we've got some parts off a Mazda 3 and Howdy YouTube and welcome to this episode of the Gunman Raw. So today we're going to be painting some parts of this little Mazda 3. So this morning I painted the body of the car and yeah, the parts are in here. We've got a booth full of parts. Gotta love this big spray booth. I'll tell you what, it's so good. And yeah, I'll just be taking you guys through the procedure. So what I might do on this one is I'll just be focusing on that bonnet for the sake of not getting the video too long. Yeah, and I'll just be taking you guys through the bonnet for most of the video. So they've all been prepped up. Now this is warranty work for Mazda, and what you can see there is stone chips all through the bonnet. And the rest of the car's got stone chips all over it as well. But yeah, so obviously all the prep work's done. Pretty straightforward. Like these jobs, I've been smashing them out really fast because like the cars are clean. The cars themselves are actually quite clean. Like I don't even have to take them out the back and give them a pressure cleaner or anything. I just wipe them down with water cleaner. Start sanding with the orbital sander, do all the edges, pick up the chips, get it in the booth and mask it up and then paint it. So as I say, it's a pretty fast procedure because of the condition that they're in. They're basically new cars, and as I say, it's warranty work for these stone chips for whatever reason. But yeah, you've probably all noticed that I've done quite a few of these before, so without getting too big of a head, I think I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm getting better each time, I believe. So yeah, the procedure is going to be wet on wet, 3 coats of base coat, and then 3 coats of tinted candy clear, and then 1 coat of clear. I can feel that's got static in it. This is one that I'll give you this one for free. When you ever do parts and they get static in them, water cleaner on the inside. That's still there actually. It worked last time. Is it gonna work? Yeah, that's pretty much gone. The static's pretty much gone. For whatever reason, the water, it just gets rid of the static. So I'll do it on this bumper too. Yeah, that comes back up as you tack rag it. Howdy YouTube and welcome to this episode of the Gunman Raw. So today we've got some parts of a Mazda 3. I spent the morning spraying the body and now in the afternoon I'm doing the parts. So I reckon what we might do is just focus on this bonnet. I've actually done a video pretty much the same as what this video is going to be. I've done one before, but in between doing that video and this video, I've probably painted about 4 full red sprays on this same colour. So the colour is Soul Red Crystal and 46V is the paint code. I thought I'd do an updated video because I think I've got better at doing them. So as I say, we're just going to be focusing on this bonnet. So I'm going to cut that video off now and I'll see you in about 20 minutes once that's flashed off and I've got some base coat in the gun. Rightio guys, continuing on with the job. So here we have the Envirobase base coat colour in the gun. I like to put the first coat down sort of pretty wet and then we'll back it off each coat. I'm only going to spray those edges on the first coat. I find you're best off not overdoing it on the edges, and that's mainly because we're putting so many coats on. because it's the candy, we've got 3 coats of the tinted clear, tinted with the candy, and then we've got 1 coat of normal clear over the top. So if you go and put all those layers around the edges, you can get big, yucky edges. So I found, don't put any wet on your edges. And just put the 1 coat of base coat on your edges, and then 1 coat of candy on your edges. And then when you do your final coat, I put the final coat of clear, the clear on my edges too. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to flick that cam off as I said before, but that's pretty damn good considering that's wet on wet. I did not prime any of that, so I managed to pick up all of those stone chips and do it with wet on wet. So we'll see how it turns out in the end. We're not there yet, but I didn't miss any. That's the main thing. Anyway, I'll see you back here when that's ready to go. Rightio, time for the second coat now. Obviously that's been dried down. What I do here is I'm going to drop the pressure by 5 psi, wind the fluid in by half a turn, and let's go. So look, really the key to success when I'm doing these jobs is the flash off time, the thinners and the hardness that we use in the clear coat stage. So because we've got 4 coats of clear to put down, it's very important to get that stage right. And I just noticed that I'm missing something. I'm missing one of my parts. I just realised it's like a nose cone. I'll go out and get it in between coats. Anyway, that's our second coat of base down. I'll flick the cam off again. Rightio, time for our last coat of base coat. I went out and got that nose cone, so I'm glad I remembered that actually. So same thing, drop the pressure by 5 psi and wind the fluid in another half a turn. So yeah, the PPG Envirobase is definitely not as fast paced as the Axalta system. So standoff, Chromax Pro and Speed Check, but it's what I've got to work with, so let's do what I've got to do. I like working at this shop. Might not be my favourite paint system, but it's capable. I mean, it's just a little bit slow. I mean, that's the main thing. The clear probably isn't as good. The wet on wet's probably better. Yeah, it's good and bad for everything, I guess. Anyway, I'll turn that cam off and we'll be here with some tinted clear soon. Alright, back to it guys. So, I've got my started True Soul edition here, 1.3i. It's the X5500. So the I is the fan pattern. It means it's a bit more of a flat fan. So, it's a tinted clear to candy. I use medium thinners, but I actually put some rocket in it. So I put some paint rocket into it. So that actually speeds up the drying procedure, but the medium thinner stops it from drying too fast, but then once it starts to go, it goes quick, if that makes sense. So first coat, I'm not going to be doing around the edges. I mentioned before how I only do 1 coat on my edges. I hope you guys can see properly up there. So I like to go 1.9 bar on the bonnet. That's probably about 28 or 27 psi, roughly. Oops, I did that front edge just out of habit. So what I'm going to do after this coat is probably give it 5 minutes and then hit bake for 10 minutes and then I'll come in and put my second coat down. Alright, I'll see you back here soon. our second coat. I actually only ended up giving that first coat 5 minutes at 50 degrees, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do is 5 minutes to the first one, 10 minutes to the second one, 15 minutes to the third one, and then that's it. I had a few big chunks fly out of the gun, and I realised what it was. Because of these SATA cups, you've got to put the filter in yourself. I had the filter sitting there on the bench, but I forgot to put it in. That's 100% my fault. Those chunks of dust that landed in the first coat. You can see by the way the overspray is sitting on that it's nice and dry. So I like to drop the pressure on like flat panels, like bonnet, roof, boot lid, because I found it sort of like it flows out a little bit nicer. When I'm painting the other side, I'll go 2 bar. When I'm painting bonnet, I'll go like 1.9 bar. That's not a massive difference, just a little bit. Enables you to hammer it on a little bit heavier. So yeah, these guns, mate, some of them come defective out of the box. I thought SATA would have fixed their shit by the time I did this review, but as it turns out, I'm still getting people leaving comments saying that they're buying these guns brand new and they're spraying like top heavy. I had 2 of them when they were new. So I kind of feel bad for not mentioning that in my review, but I'd given them the benefit of the doubt that they would have fixed their shit by now. But obviously they have not. Anyway, I'll see you guys back here for the third coat. Rightio, this is our third and final coat of candy. So as I mentioned before, I gave that 10 minutes. But also we do have some rocket. So same mixture of clear coat, but there's rocket in there and medium reducer. And when I put my final coat of clear down, I'm going to be leaving the rocket out, but I'll just be using medium reducer. So the idea behind that is that you want the lower layers, like the bottom, your foundation, you want that to be drying faster than your top layer. If you were to do it the other way around, like if you were to use slow on your first layers and then fast on your top layers, that would be a recipe for disaster. Because you would have the top layer drying too fast, and then that would trap all the solvents in. So yeah, you want the bottom layers drying faster. It's actually looking pretty good. Considering that's been wet on wet as well, like haven't got any of that pitch back or haven't really got any excessive orange peel from the wet on wet. I do love the PPG wet on wet primer. Really good stuff. Anyway, I'll see you guys back here for the last coat. The last coat is just going to be normal clear, but this time I'm going to give it 15-minute bake. See you soon. Rightio guys, here we are, ready for our last coat of clear. As you see here, it's clear. So as I said before, I gave it 15 minutes and I had a look on the masking. You get a good idea, and it's still fresh enough that the last coat's going to stick, but it's not so fresh that we're going to get solvent boil. guys a good look over this once I've finished clearing. So I'll turn the cam off, I'll clear the rest of the parts up, and then I'll give you guys a look over. So here we go with the final look over the job. That's the gun I use, Sada True Soul Edition RP 1.3i. Hopefully the video quality has been good for you guys. I think I've finally found the best settings to use with my new GoPro. But that's it. I did get one big chunk, one great big rock land in my bonnet there. The rest of it not too bad, there's a few bits here and there, but I'm pretty happy with the finish on that. And as I say, especially being that I've got wet on wet down there, that looks really good if you ask me. I'm pretty happy with that. That's not a bad day's work, and I just scraped it in by 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes to go clean my gun out. And yeah, anyway guys, I'll see you from there.